Hello. Today we're going to be reviewing the X-ray tube. This is something that you're going to be getting very comfortable with within the next 16 weeks. Just be mindful that each X-ray tube may look a little different. I like to think of it like a car. You have Mustangs, you have convertibles, you have Lincolns, you have trucks, but they all have brakes, they all have gas pedals, they all have blinkers and windshield wipers. You just have to get familiar with what it is that you're looking for. So on this X-ray tube, this is the one on the left-hand side of the lab, and it has three main components that is your foundation for moving your tube. The blue button here is going to be your vertical button. So when you press that, that's going to allow you to move the tube up and down. Your green button is your longitudinal button, and that's going to allow you to go top to bottom or head to toe. And then finally, your orange button here is your transverse button. It's going to allow me to pull it towards me and away from me or side to side. You also have a rotate button, which is going to allow you to swing the tube. So I'm going to bring the tube out towards me. And then once I hit this rotate button, I can swing the tube and walk with it. So now it's facing this way. You can also angle the tube. Right here it says angle. So you can turn the tube to where it's angled instead of a perpendicular beam. And then up here, as you're turning the tube, it'll tell you what degree you're at. Now, some of our exams require that there's an angle on the tube, so this would be important for you to know how to use. Now, we're not going to worry about the kV and the MA and the seconds right now, because that is something that's on the control panel. I just want you to get used to these buttons to manipulate your X-ray tube. You also have a free float or an all button here, and it's on either side. That allows you to do all three of those buttons at the same time. So if I was to use this, I could move it up and down, I could move it side to side, I could move it head to toe. They're also located on either side of the handles, so if you prefer to hold that, you can do the same thing. Now, as far as our face here, these are collimator knobs. And this is a button that turns on the light. So as I turn that on there, you see the light came on. So there I pushed it, it's off. There I pushed it and it's on. So when I touch these collimator knobs here, it's going to allow me to shift or change the size of the collimation. So as I turn that, you see how it's getting smaller and larger head to toe. And when I turn this one, smaller and larger side to side. And I push this button to turn it off, and I turn that button to turn it back on again. Now looking at this light field, this line and this line, those are known as your crosshairs. And right in the center of that crosshair is where your central ray location is going to be. So as I'm moving, this line is going to be your head to toe line. So this is going to move either towards the head or down towards the feet. This line is going to be your transverse line, or going side to side. So as I move it towards me or I move it away from me. Now this is important because each exam or each X-ray that you take is going to have a particular central ray location. All right, so I think of it like two roads coming in, a four-way stop. So your center ray is going to be the center location, and you need to have your longitudinal line and your transverse line set up so that the main portion of your X-ray beam is coming down that central ray and hitting the body part. And you will find that in your procedures textbook as we go along. The red laser light that you see, that's just a centering device to help you line up your X-ray tube with that imaging plate. We're going to talk about lining up the X-ray tube and the imaging plate in the next section.